Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1872B, and today's date is May 20th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Declass Right Around the Corner, Patriots Control the Timetable. Now, before I get started, I wanted to talk about the Patriot Charger. After a crash, every second counts. Use the built-in powerful LED torch or flashing red emergency beacon for nighttime emergencies. In case you're trapped due to flooding or fire, use the seatbelt cutter and window breaker to free yourself. Patriot Charger is always within reach because it plugs into your car's cigarette lighter outlet and also doubles as a car phone charger and a portable power bank. So don't wait until there's an emergency. Make sure you're prepared. Get the amazing 6-in-1 Patriot Charger by clicking the link below. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, we are getting word that the Declass is coming out and it's right around the corner. Do we know the exact day and time? No, we really don't. And this is being done on purpose. The Patriots don't want to tell the deep state the exact day and time because they want them to use ammunition. But we do see from all the indicators and from all the information coming out that they're preparing for this. How do we know this? More and more information every single day comes out. And we see Trey Gowdy, Mark Meadows, Joe D, and many others out there talking about different documentation, talking about how we should be seeing this and why wasn't this presented to the FISA court. They're doing this on purpose because they're preparing the American people. And we're going to be talking about that in just a minute. But what's very interesting is that the mainstream media, the deep state, since the Russian collusion hoax thing went down the tubes, they're going after Trump and they're going after his financial dealings. Because what else do they have? They don't have much. And Trump responded to a New York Times story about Deutsche Bank staff flagging suspicious activity in Trump's and Kushner's accounts. Trump again blasted the New York Times for daring to suggest that Trump only banked with Deutsche Bank and Capital One because other banks didn't want to work with him. Trump tweeted out the following: "The failing New York Times, it will pass away when I leave office in 6 years. And others of the fake news media keep writing phony stories about how I didn't use many banks because they didn't want to do business with me. Wrong. It is because I didn't need money. Very old. Fashioned but true. When you don't need or want money, you don't need or want banks. Banks have always been available to me. They want to make money. Fake media only says this to disparage and always uses unnamed sources because their sources don't exist. The mainstream media has never been as corrupt and deranged as it is today. Fake news is actually the biggest story of all and is the enemy, the true enemy of the people. That's why they refuse to cover the real Russia hoax. But the American people are wise to what is going on. Now the big story is that Trump made a lot of money and buys everything for cash. He doesn't need banks. But where did he get all the cash? Could it be Russia? No. I built a great business and I don't need banks. But if I did, they'd be there. And Deutsche Bank was very good and highly professional to deal with. And if for any reason I didn't like them, I would have gone elsewhere. There was also plenty of money around the banks to choose from. They'd be very happy to take my money. Fake news." Now, some of these tweets seem a little disjointed because it seemed like Trump had some problems tweeting out, and he did post another tweet that says, 2 tweets missing from last batch, probably a Twitter error, no time for a redo, only the Dems get redos. So we see right there and then the fake mainstream media, they're trying everything they possibly can to attack Trump. And we need to remember that these attacks are coming from all different angles because they know what is coming. And they're trying to use as much of their ammunition as possible by keeping this in the news, making people think that there's something wrong with Trump, that he did something illegal, because really it's about them. Whenever you hear these politicians or the central bank or the mainstream media talk like this, they're really talking about themselves and everything that they have done wrong. Always think the opposite when you start to hear these type of things. Now, we're getting information that the British spy chiefs, they were briefed on the Steele dossier before Trump knew of its existence. The UK was in on it. So British spy chiefs were briefed on Christopher Steele's junk Trump Russia dossier before Trump knew of its existence. The head of MI5, MI6, plus one of Theresa May's most trusted security advisors all knew of the Russian links claims before Trump. Trump knew the UK was in on it. How did he know? Well, look at his tweet from April 24, 2019. Former CIA analyst Larry Johnson accuses United Kingdom intelligence of helping Obama administration spy on the 2016 Trump presidential campaign. At OANN, wow, it is now just a question of time before the truth comes out, and when it does, it will be a beauty. Now, since this tweet, the Russia fairy tale is completely falling apart. Mueller and his team, their conflicted, biased, and corrupt and angry Democrat investigators and attorneys, have found nothing related to their target. And now all these indictments, they're completely unraveling. Russia meddling into the 2016 U.S. election, it's all falling apart. But the meddling by the UK is becoming more and more apparent. Everything is leading back to there. Very interesting. Now, Eric Holder, he is panicking. How do we know this? Because he's screaming very, very loudly. And we know from Q, those who scream the loudest have the most to lose. Eric Holder lashed out at Bill Barr this weekend. Holder accused Barr of protecting Trump and asserting that the Attorney General started his probe of the Intel FBI for political reasons. He is not fit to lead the Department of Justice, Holder said. Holder tweeted out the following. AG Barr has deliberately misrepresented the Mueller report. He has started examinations of the conduct of the Intel FBI personnel without a predicate for political reasons. He is protecting the president. He does not stand up for good people he leads. He is not fit to lead Department of Justice. Now remember, when these people speak, they're really talking about themselves. Remember, it's always the opposite. Think mirror. So Eric Holder, he is panicking because he knows Barr is following the rule of law and he's going to investigate everything. Remember, they never thought she was going to lose. They didn't hide anything. Everything's out in the open. Saul Wisenberg, the former deputy independent counsel under Ken Starr, he destroyed Eric Holder for attacking Attorney General William Barr. Wisenberg called out Holder's corrupt behavior in office from his service in the Obama presidency, including the fast and furious gun-running to Mexican cartel scandal, to his tenure as Deputy Attorney General in the Clinton administration, and his sheep-herding of the pardon for fugitive Mark Rich, whose ex-wife Denise was a major Clinton donor. Denise Rich has given more than $1 million to Clinton's political party, including more than $100,000 to Senate campaign of the president's wife, Hillary Clinton, and $450,000 to the Clinton Library Foundation during Clinton's time in office. Wisenberg tweeted out the following. You swore falsely under oath in Fast and Furious and dared not name a special counsel, failed to name a special counsel in the IRS targeting scandal, failed to prosecute key players in the mortgage meltdown, aided and abetted the Mark Rich pardon. You, sir, were unfit to lead the Department of Justice. And as you can see, Eric Holder is panicking. Everything that he's saying is about him. He was never fit to be the Attorney General. Now, Trump is calling out that there should be an investigation of Joe Biden and his son. He's saying we need to investigate the Biden family over their financial ties to the Chinese government. Now, again, there's many people in government that have been dealing with the Chinese, selling them secrets, which is treason, and doing other types of business. Now, let's take Justin Amash, for instance. Now, he was out there, and he's saying that all of a sudden, we need to impeach Trump. Ever since Trump started to deal with China, and Trump was trying to get a better trade deal with China, all of a sudden, Justin came out and said, we need to impeach Trump. Now, Amash acts like his support of impeachment is rooted in constitutional grounds. There may be a financial motive to his opposition to Trump. it has been revealed that Amash has significant business interests in China that may be harmed by Trump's America First trade policy. In Amash's financial disclosure forms of the year of 2015, he was shown as receiving up to $1 million in annual income due to his ownership stake in Michigan Industrial Tools, MIT. Now, MIT is the parent company of Tecton Tools, Amash's family business that benefits directly from Chinese manufacturers. An article from MLive in 2010 exposed Amash as being the co-owner of Dynamic Source International, DSI, a Chinese company that was once an MIT supplier. Amash's family have been outspoken advocates of the globalist trade status quo for many years. Well, we're starting to get a clearer picture of why he wants Trump out of the way. It comes back to money with their dealings with the Chinese. This is just going to get worse for many of these individuals. Like we've always said, how do these people get into government and become very, very wealthy? It's called corruption. And these individuals are starting to worry now. Now, Trey Gowdy, he was being interviewed by Maria Bartiromo, and he has seen transcripts of Halper Turk operation. And those transcripts exonerate Papadopoulos. Take a listen to what Trey Gowdy says.
Yeah, I mean, if the Bureau is going to send an informant in, the informant's going to be wired. And if the Bureau is monitoring telephone calls, there's going to be a transcript of that. And some of us have been fortunate enough to know whether or not those transcripts exist, but they haven't been made public. And I think one in particular it has the potential to actually persuade people. Very little on this Russia probe, I'm afraid, is going to persuade people who hate Trump or who love Trump. But there is some information in these transcripts that I think has the potential to be a game changer if it's ever made public.
You say that's exculpatory evidence. And when people see that, they're going to say, wait, why wasn't this presented to the court earlier?
Yeah, you know, Johnny Ratcliffe is rightfully exercised over the obligations that the government has to tell the whole truth to a court when you are seeking permission to spy or do surveillance on an American. And part of that includes the responsibility of providing exculpatory information or information that tends to show the person did not do something wrong. If you have exculpatory information and you don't share it with the court, that ain't good. I've seen it. Johnny's seen it. I'd love for your viewers to see it.
And it seems like the American people should see these documents. And we know from Q, we know from Trump, that when they declass, I believe everything is going to be out in the open. It's going to be completely transparent. Now, George Papadopoulos, he lays this all out in a tweet. I guarantee you, as declassification and the new investigation ramp up into Department of Justice Intel Agency corruption, all the bizarre assets who are running into me from 2015 to 2017 will try and discredit me. We already see a coordinated media strategy by the higher-ups, only a matter of time. Now, Trump is out there, and he's continually asking the question, why isn't anyone looking into the real crimes? But we know there are investigations happening in the background. What he's doing is he is exposing their cover-up, continually looking at the hoax and not looking at the real crimes. He tweeted out the following. Why are the Democrats not looking into all the crimes committed by crooked Hillary and the phony Russia investigation? They would get back their credibility. Jerry Nadler, Schiff would have a whole new future open to them. Perhaps they could even run for president. So basically what he's doing is he's saying, listen, these individuals are on one path only. They're trying to investigate a hoax when there's a real crime over here and they're not even looking at it. And it seems like he's saying, listen, you have this chance. Are you going to take it? If not, you're going to be going down with the ship. And it looks like they're not going to take this chance. They're not going to be looking into the real crimes at all. They're going to be looking the other way. Mark Meadows, he is telling us that the world is getting ready for the declass. He says it's right around the corner. Now remember, they're not giving dates. They want the deep state to use their ammunition. Take a listen to Mark Meadows.
Declassify and let it go out there. Do you think the delay is almost over? I think the delay's over. I think the president is serious. I've spoken to him recently, and I think declassification is right around the corner, and hopefully the American people will be able to judge for themselves.
Comey and Brennan are already turning on each other, as well as James
should.
Baker is trying to cover his own tracks. This thing is changing quickly. Congressman, thanks so much.
So everything that we've been hearing, everything that's been going on is in preparation for the Declass, for the OIG, for the Comey memo. And everything will be put out when it is the exact right time, when it is part of the plan. Again, we don't know the inner workings of the plan. We don't know the time schedule. The Patriots, they have a timetable. We just don't know it. But we know it's coming. That's all we need. Let's go back to post 2816. This is February 19, 2019. The declassification of all requested documents plus more will occur. This is not a game. Do not let personal, emotional desires do it now, what is taking so long now, take over. Logical thinking and strategy should always be applied. Game theory. We all want to see equal justice under the law. New threats, investigations by the SDNY, AS, MW, in an effort to delay, prevent, release, insurance extensions will fail. Transparency is the only way forward. Define the following: treason, sedition, subversion, conspiracy to commit. Do you understand and fully appreciate the gravity of the situation? Do you understand and fully appreciate what POTUS endures each and every single day? He loves this country. He loves you. We must stand together in this fight. There is evil in this world. There is darkness in this world. There are those in power who wish to control, enslave you, to keep you sedated, to keep you unaware, to keep you blind. This will be on our timetable, and we will deliver transparency and prosecution. There is simply no other way except one. And you can see we're headed in that direction. Post 3328. Declass, pre or post IG report. Comey in brackets, bold, pre or post IG report. C comes before D. They're getting ready. They're getting prepared. And it will be coming. Don't worry about the time. Just know that it's going to hit. They're preparing the country. Now, down at the border, there have been reports that Trump is dumping illegals all over the country. They cited Florida and other places. Trump tweeted out that this is completely false. This is what his tweet said. False reporting yesterday. There are no plans to send migrants to northern or coastal border facilities, including Florida, not by airplanes or any other means. Our country is full, will not and cannot take you in. So again, the mainstream media is out there saying that Trump is putting all these illegals all over the country, and it is fake, phony, and false. Now, out in Iraq, we see that the deep state most likely is trying to use another event to start a war. A rocket was fired into Iraq's capital, Baghdad, on Sunday, and it landed less than a mile from the U.S. Embassy there. And we can see that they are trying to push their agenda. Now, Trump came out and he tweeted that if Iran wants to fight, that will be the official end of Iran. Never threaten the United States again. Now, does this mean we're going to war? No, he's talking to the deep state. He's not talking to the people of Iran. He's talking to those individuals who are trying to start a war. So what did they do here? They fired a rocket at the U.S. Embassy. Now, the rocket came from the east, which is home to several Iran-backed Shiite militants. And of course, they fired it from that direction to make sure that everyone knows where it came from. Now, let's think logically. Iran has not started a war in over 200 years. Yes, they've been in wars, but they haven't started a war. Why would they start a war with the U.S.? It is a no-win situation. We know that China and Russia, they have Iran's back. But if Iran attacks and started the war, do you think Russia and China would come to the aid of Iran? Maybe not, because Russia and China, they really don't want to be involved in a war. So who wants the war? Not Iran, not the people. It's the deep state. Who has been out to Iran? who made deals with Iran, Obama, John Kerry, Dianne Feinstein, has been speaking to the government of Iran. Why? Because they know the walls are closing in around them. They need an event. And Sneaky Rod tweeted out exactly what is happening. It's exactly what I would say. So I'm just going to read you Sneaky Rod's tweets. Number 1, do we all remember how Trump handled Kim Jong-un? Told him if he F's with us, there will be fire and fury, the likes of which the world has never seen. Trump is now doing the same thing to Iran, which tells me he's already won. The timing is far too convenient. Number 2, Trump is building his 2020 resume and simultaneously about to command the media narrative for the coming weeks, month, if he negotiates peace with Iran. Trump will use the positive media optics to gain the public approval going into the Declass. He'll maximize public support. Number 3, he did the same exact thing with the Korean summit. He used the accomplishment to boost his public perception and then dropped the IG report on the FBI Hillary Comey 5 weeks later. This is how Trump uses his political ammunition to amplify acceptance of these reports. Number 4, the fact that Trump is calling out Iran on Twitter means white hats already have control, and they feel it's now time to reveal this to the public. The negotiations with Iran are already done. White hats kept hidden to space out the use of their political ammunition. Number 5, instead of Trump revealing it to the world all at once, he spaced it out so the media had to talk about it for more time and give him more positive optics. Once you adopt the Sun Tzu teachings, the plan is visible. White hats in control. Now, Trump tweeted out the following. The fake news put out typically false statement without any knowledge that the United States was trying to set up a negotiation with Iran. This is false report. Iran will call us if and when they are ever ready. In the meantime, their economy continues to collapse. Very sad for the Iranian people. Now think about what Trump is saying. Iran is going to be calling very, very soon. Now, he started to ramp this up. And if we go back to Sneaky Rod and what Sneaky Rod was saying, it seems like Trump is very confident that Iran is going to call. Why does he know this? Because the deal has already been made behind the scenes. He's letting this all play out. And it seems like he has everything under control. The Patriots have everything under control. And no, there's not going to be a war. Listen to Trump as he was being interviewed about the military complex, because he's letting everyone know that he understands that there are certain individuals within government that just want war, and they never want war to end, and he is dealing with them. Take a listen to Trump.
I can solve things economically. That's the way I want it.
So you can reassure people you're not looking for some kind of conflict in Iran. And
well, I'm the one that talks about these wars that are 19 years and people are just there. And don't kid yourself, you do have a military-industrial complex. They do like war. You know, in Syria with the caliphate. So I wipe out 100% of the caliphate. That doesn't mean you're not going to have these crazy people going around blowing up stores and blowing up things. These are seriously ill people. I don't want to say, oh, they're wiped out, you know, ISIS. But I wiped out 100% of the caliphate. I say I want to bring our troops back home. The place went crazy. They want to keep, you have people here in Washington. They never want to leave. I say, you know what I'll do? I'll leave a couple of hundred soldiers behind. But if it was up to them, they'd bring thousands of soldiers in. Someday people will explain it.
Well, this is an example.
You do have a group, and they call it the military-industrial complex. They never want to leave. They always want to fight. No, I don't want to fight.
And as you can see, Trump, he wants peace. He's a negotiator. He doesn't want war. He wants to end war. But there are people in government who want war. And this is what he's fighting against. But remember, as time goes on, the Patriots, the White Hats, are controlling more and more of the government, controlling what is going on. And once the swamp is drained, guess what? Trump will have complete control. Once he has complete control and people start going to prison, there are trials, and the swamp is completely drained, he will then have the force to go after the central bank. He will have the power. And what I mean by this, he won't have the deep state, the neocons, the corruption within government to try to block him at every turn. And think about what's waiting in the wings. All these bills, all he needs is a crisis. The plan is coming together. The Patriots, they have the timetable. Everything has been planned out from the beginning. Just enjoy the show. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.